Hello guys and welcome for another video with N. And in today's video I'm going to talk about the hero Jacob. So I'm going to talk on how to obtain him, what talent tree you need to use, what are his skills and how to upgrade his skills, how you can combine him with other heroes, and if he's worth using your legendary fragment. So how to obtain him? So it's actually kind of difficult because he's a top commander hero, so you need to rank at least top 15 or acquire 10 of his fragments during the ranged top commander event. So it's quite of a challenging competition, but it is possible if you're free-to-play player to obtain 10 fragments of him. So talent tree wise, you can see Jacob is a ranged hero. He's got range squad, garrison and defense. So depending on what you want to do and how you want to use him. So this is for the field. That's the talent tree I recommend. So you go in the defense talent tree, you get the heal buff as well, and then you get the skill damage here, and then the last three would be secondary weapon to have an extra damage factor. So that's for field. And if you want to use him as your garrison captain, I don't really recommend it, but you can use him as your garrison captain if you are mainly on ranged troops. So this is, like everybody knows now, this is actually my garrison talent tree. So full in defense, and then full on responsive defense, and then full on shelter guard. So that's it for the talent tree. Now his skills. So Bird of Prey, so its first skill, it deals damage to up to 3 enemy squads with a damage factor of up to 12,500 in a friendship area in front, and increase owns counter damage by up to 23% for 3 seconds. Also, the damage taken by each enemy squad reduced by 15% for every additional target. So this is actually one of the best skills in the game. I'm not joking, because it's one of the highest damage factor in the game. So that means for one target he does 12,500. For 2 targets, he does 10,625. So for total of 2 targets, total damage is 21,250. And for 3 targets, it's 8,750 per target. So a total of 26,250 damage factor. So this is huge. And if you want to compare with other heroes as well, so if you have Lewis on 3 squad, it's going to be 21,000 total, and with Bard is 27,300. So Bard actually has a higher damage factor on 3 squad, and it is on circular area, yes, but most of Bard's skills is actually only for siege, and this guy actually have pretty decent other skills that you can use for the field. So I recommend to use Jacob instead, or Lewis instead of Bard, because Bard is mainly for siege. So let's go for the next one. So Earth Champion, increase range squad HP by 20% and increase all damage dealt by 7.5%, but the squad damage is only in garrison. And this is actually the second best skill. I love these skills as well, and it used to be bugged at some point, but now it is working. I actually tried it on memory trip on zombie boss, so this is actually working now. So it deals damage to, again, up to 3 nearby enemy squads with a damage factor of 2,000 every 8 seconds. And then you got on these 3 squads, if it's in garrison, it reduces also the attack by 17%. So the attack reduction is good for garrison, but this skill with an extra damage factor of 2,000 per target is actually pretty good. To simplify, I'm going to say every 8 seconds is it's like every round. So every one you got an extra damage factor, is like adding that 2,000 damage factor to this one. So that means for one target, you go to 14,500. For 2 targets, you go for total of 25,250. And then for 3 targets, you go to 32,250. So 32,250 is way above Bard. Bard is at 27,300. So with these 2 skills, you're always going to make more damage than Bard. So this guy is actually really good, and I'm kind of really sad that I don't have him more upgraded, because I think he's a really good hero to have, and it gives more variability as well in the game. But I'm going to talk a little bit later about this. So fourth skill, Son of the Wind. So increase all damage by up to 16%, and it is only when the remaining squad size is below 50%, and when you got the remaining squad size below 30%, it goes to up to 20% of damage. So this skill is good, but it's only when you are in low troops already, so you're not gonna make really good damage at the beginning of the fight, and most likely your damage is gonna stay pretty much the same over the whole fight, because this is just to compensate your loss of troops, I believe. So this skill it's good, but it's not crazy. And Awakening skill, the damage factor goes to 12,500 to 13,750, so even more damage. So this is crazy. And the counter damage goes to from 23% to 28%. Now, if you want to have an idea of how much you're going to make of damage, it's going to be 28,875 total. And then with the third skill, you add an extra 6,000. So you're at 34,875 of damage factor at every turn with this guy. So this is absolutely massive. And there's not many heroes that actually has better damage factor than him. Potentially, I didn't calculate, but potentially is Alina. Alina has most likely a higher damage factor than him, or similar, but this is on one squad. And the second hero would be Mei, because Mei has 4,500 on 2 enemy squad for 3 seconds. So again, this is pretty good too. And you got also obviously Lewis and Bart, but Lewis on 5 squad is actually pretty low. So on 5 squad, Lewis is at 24,000 of damage factor total. And this is Awaken, but without the skin, because now there's the skin, so there's something else. So let's go back to this guy. And how you can upgrade this skill is actually very simple. So obviously this one first, and then this one second, and then this one, it would say third, because your squad HP is always happening. And then I would use that one as the last one. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, how you can combine him with other heroes? Again, you can combine him with any other range heroes pretty much. And you got actually a nice option with this guy, because I think Jacob is very unique because he's the only range hero that has a defense talent tree. And I think this is really valuable, because most of the time it's going to be your range squad that's going to be target on the field. You can use him as the assistant, or you can also use him as the leader if you feel that your range squad is actually melting too fast. And as I said, you can pretty much pair him with any other range heroes. So you can pair him with like Julia, so you can do Julia Jacob or Jacob Julia, depending if you want to do more damage or if you want to be more defensive. You can use Sean, so here's going to be only Sean Jacob, because Sean has to be the leader. And also technically Julia should be the leader as well, because you've got this skill, the third one, if I'm not mistaken. So when the rage is more than 90%, increase skill damage dealt by 27%, so for 4 seconds. So if you want to have the bonus on Julia plus Jacob's skill, Julia has to be first. So technically I would still do Julia Jacob and Chun Jacob. You can also do Lin if you want, one of the new heroes. So you got Lin here. You can do Nakano if you don't have any really good legendary hero upgraded, but you got a lot of fragments from Nakano, for example, so you can use Nakano as well. You can use, some of the elite hero as well if you don't have any heroes available at the moment. So you can have Akemi, or you can have Sio, and then of course there is Louis, so you can do Louis Jacob. Of course, that's a really good option too. and it's probably one of the top options to make maximum damage on the field, because you've got this skill with circular area on 5 squad, then you got the additional rage, then you got of course the range squad attack, and then here you got this 30% skill damage. So this is absolutely a really good combo. Like Lewis with Jacob would be a really good combo. And if you feel that you targeted too much, you do the opposite. You do Jacob Lewis. It would be great as well. And actually, I want to try Jacob with Lewis, but I don't have the legendary fragment, so I can't do it. But that would be great. I would definitely try to do Jacob with Lewis. So that was for the field, but you can also use him as the garrison. So if you're melee on range, well, you can do Jacob with Lewis as garrison captain. You use your Jacob as your garrison captain, or you can also use him with Victor. So you do Victor with Jacob, because Victor is actually pretty good. Garrison is a big topic, especially because there's a lot of change as well. And I never tried to use Jacob in my garrison because I don't have him upgraded, but I think, yeah, it would be actually pretty good to have on the garrison as well, if you have a multiple squad, you know, attacking your shelter and stuff. But yeah, and of course, should you use your legendary fragment or not on him? Well, it depends what you want to do, but I think he's a really good hero to use your fragment on, so I definitely recommend to upgrade him if you can. I think Julia and Jacob is a really good squad if you don't have Lewis, for example. And it could be also very valuable as well to defend your shelter or towers, to clear up the zone as well. It's pretty good. So that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed my video about Jacob, and I hope you guys are going to use him a little bit more. Unfortunately, I cannot because I don't have a fragment. But yeah, he's a really good hero to have, and I'll see you for the next video. Thank you for watching, and bye bye.